Good morning, students. Welcome to our science class. In the last class, we have learnt about pure substance, mixtures, and the methods of separating the solids such as hand picking, sieving, winnowing, and threshing. Let us have a quick recall about it. First is pure substance. A pure substance is made up of only one kind of substance. For example, sugar, gold, iron, etc. A mixture is made up of more than one kind of substances which can be separated. For example, seawater, air, etc. Next is the methods of separating solid substances. First is hand picking. Hand picking is the process of picking up of unwanted materials from the food grains and other useful things. Second method is sieving. Sieving is used to separate solid substances that differ in size. For example, rice flour. The size of the mesh depends on the size of the substance it is used to separate. Next method in separating the solids is winnowing. Winnowing is the simple, cheap, and effective method of separating lighter and heavier solid substances from a mixture. It is the process of separating the chaff from the grains and pulses. The next method is threshing. In threshing, the stalks are beaten to free the grains from it. Today, we are going to learn how to separate the insoluble and soluble solids from liquids and the types of solutions. For separating insoluble solids from the liquids, we follow the methods like sedimentation, decantation, filtration, and loading. Let us see them one by one. First method of separating insoluble solids from liquids is sedimentation. Sedimentation allows the separation of undissolved solid particles from a liquid. Now, add sand in a beaker containing water. We know that sand is heavier than water, and so the sand settles at the bottom of the beaker. This undissolved part which settles at the bottom of the liquid is called as sediment. So, sedimentation is the separation of undissolved solid particles from a liquid, and the undissolved part which is settled at the bottom of the liquid is called as the sediment. Next is decantation. The word decantation means to gradually pour off the liquid from one container to another without disturbing the sediment. So, after the sedimentation process got completed, the liquid is poured off to another container without disturbing the sediment, and this process is called as decantation. Next process of separation is filtration. Filtration is used to separate insoluble particles from liquids using a porous device called a filter. See the picture, students. This filtering device can be a fine piece of cloth which is used to filter water, or it can be a special paper called filter paper which is used to filter the liquids in the laboratory. The size of the pores on a filter paper depends on the size of the solid that is to be separated. We have already learnt in the sieving method that the pores in the separating mesh depends on the solid that is to be separated. In the water filter, the water present in the container enters into the filtering device, that is, the device may be a fine piece of cloth or a filter paper. While entering inside the filtering device, the impurities and the insoluble particles present in the water gets filtered and remains outside the filtering device. Thus, the pure water is collected in a separate container. Likewise, the net that filters the air in an air cooler is a fine plastic mesh, and at the same time, the metal strainer used to filter tea has large pores. Did you know, students? Ducts filter the water and separate food particles from it with the help of their beaks. The mouth of whales too perform a similar function. Okay, students, are you clear about the filtration process? Next separating process is loading. The liquids containing extremely small insoluble particles remain suspended in the liquid and takes a long time to settle. In such mixtures, the filtering process will be slow because the tiny insoluble particles may block the pores of the filtering device. And those suspended particles from a mixture can be quickly separated by a process called loading. Loading can be observed by adding alum to the water containing fine soil particles. See this picture. This is the alum. The alum attaches themselves to the soil particles that is suspended in the water. This makes the soil particles heavy and they settle at the bottom. Alum is available in the grocery shops. Rain is a good example for this loading process. Raindrops load fine dust particles suspended in the air and bring them to the ground. Thus, rain cleans the air. Okay, students. So far, we have discussed about sedimentation, decantation, filtration and loading, which are the process of separation of insoluble solids from the liquids. Next, we are going to learn about separation of soluble substances from a liquid. Evaporation. We know well about evaporation. So, can you tell me what is evaporation? Evaporation is the process of changing a liquid into a gas. Heat and wind helps in the evaporation of water. Evaporation is used to separate the solids which is dissolved in a liquid. Okay, students, why the food items are sun-dried? What happens when the food items are exposed to the sunlight? When the food items are sun-dried, the water content in the food items are removed through evaporation. Can you say any other example for separation through evaporation? The table salt which we are using in our day-to-day life is obtained by the separation of evaporation. Seawater is mainly a solution of table salt and water. The seawater is blocked and collected in evaporation ponds, that is salt pans. After the water evaporates completely, the salt remains on the dry land. Okay, students, are you clear about the separation process to evaporation? Next, we move on to the separation of immiscible liquids. Students, the word immiscible immiscible. It should be pronounced as immiscible. What do you mean by immiscible? When two liquids in a container do not mix together, they form two separate layers. Such liquids are called as immiscible liquids. Say one example for immiscible liquids, students. Cooking oil and water are immiscible. So, such liquids can be separated by decantation. Students, be clear that when two liquids in a container do not mix together, they form two separate layers. Such liquids are called as immiscible liquids. Next, we see how to separate a mixture using more than one kind of separation. Because It is not always possible to separate the substance by using only one method. For example, to separate a mixture of oil, water and fine sand particles, first we have to separate the oil by the process of decantation. Then the remaining substances such as water and fine sand particles are separated by the process of filtration. Next, we move on to the types of solutions. Students, what happens when salt dissolves in water? We have already learned this in the previous lesson. When salt dissolves in water, it forms a salt solution. In that solution, the salt is called as the solute and the water is called as the solvent. And the resultant mixture is called as a solution. What do you mean by a homogeneous mixture? When several components makes up a mixture or uniformly distributed throughout the mixture, then it is called as a homogeneous mixture. Thus, a solution is a homogeneous in which the components that makes up a mixture are uniformly distributed throughout the mixture. Okay students, there are two types of solutions. They are saturated and unsaturated solutions. Now take some water in a tumbler at room temperature. Add a teaspoon of common salt and stir it well. Stir is nothing but stir means mixing the solution well using a spoon or a rod. What happens to the solution after stirring? The salt will dissolve in the water. Then keep on adding more salt and stir it well. The added salt will continue to dissolve. When a solution can dissolve some more of the solute, then it is called as unsaturated solution. Now, if you go on adding salt, after a particular stage, it will not be possible to dissolve any more of the salt even with repeated and vigorous stirring. The undissolved salt will settle at the bottom of the tumbler. Such a solution in which no more of the solute can be dissolved is called a saturated solution. The maximum amount of solute which is needed to make a saturated solution in a given liquid is called solubility. Okay students, are you able to understand the difference between unsaturated solution and a saturated solution? When a solution can dissolve some more of the solute, it is called as unsaturated solution. At the same time, when a solution cannot dissolve some more of the solute, then it is called as saturated solution. And the maximum amount of solute which is needed to make a saturated solution in a given liquid is called as solubility. Now heat the saturated salt solution. What will happen when the saturated salt solution is heated? On heating the saturated salt solution, the undissolved salt which is settled at the bottom of the tumbler will disappear and dissolves in the solution. We can say that the saturated solution on heating is able to dissolve more salt. That is, on heating, a saturated solution can dissolve more salt. Now, we can understand that solubility of a substance increases with increase in temperature. I will tell you once again. Solubility of a substance increases with increase in temperature. Okay students, today we have learnt about separation of solids from liquids through the methods such as sedimentation, decantation, filtration, loading and evaporation. And what do you mean by immersible liquids and the types of solutions such as saturated and unsaturated solutions. Let us have a quick recall about it. The first method of separating solids from liquids is sedimentation. Sedimentation allows the separation of undissolved solid particles from a liquid. Next, decantation. What do you mean by decantation? Decantation means the pouring of the liquid from one container to another without disturbing the sediment. Okay, students. Next one is filtration. Filtration is used to separate insoluble particles from liquids using a porous device called a filter. Here, a fine piece of cloth or a special paper is used to filter the water. Okay, students, for this filtration, we have seen the examples such as air cooler and the metal strainer used to filter the tea. Okay, students, next separating process is loading. Loading is the process of separating the suspended particles from a mixture that can be separated quickly by this loading process. This loading process can be done using the alum. The alum attaches themselves to the soil particles that is suspended in the water, and thus the soil and the water can be separated by the loading process. Okay, students, next we have learnt the separation of soluble substances from a liquid. In this separation of soluble substances from a liquid, we have learnt the evaporation process. Evaporation is the process of changing a liquid into a gas. Heat and wind helps in the evaporation of water. For this evaporation process, we have seen the examples such as the sun drying of food items and the removing of water content from the table salt. Next is separating immiscible liquids. Immiscible means when two liquids do not mix, they form two separate layers. Such liquids are called as immiscible liquids. For this, we have seen the example of cooking oil and the water. And this cooking oil and water can be separated by the process of decantation. Next is use of more than one method of separation. In this topic, we have learnt how to separate a mixture of oil, water and fine sand particles. So, how can we separate this? Here we will separate the oil first by the process of decantation. Then the remaining fine soil particles and the water can be separated by the process of filtration. Okay, next topic is types of solution. Here we have learnt about saturated and unsaturated solutions. What do you mean by unsaturated solution? When a solution can dissolve some more of the solute, it is called as unsaturated solution. And at the same time, when a solution is unable to dissolve some more of the solute, then it is called as saturated solution, and the maximum amount of solute which is needed to make a saturated solution in a given liquid is called as solubility. And on heating the saturated solution, the undissolved solid which remains at the bottom of the tumbler will disappear and dissolves in the solution. From this, we infer that solubility of a substance increases with increase in temperature. Okay, students, we have completed this fifth lesson, that is separation of substances, and we will start a new lesson in the next class. Thank you, students.